Hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. I know I sure did. Please excuse the way I sound. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm really stuffed up. But this week I wanted to talk about conflict resolution. I recently did an assessment on a guy who was very, very angry. He was very angry at DSS because they came in and took his kids. And he was in pre-contemplation stage, just did not, understand the severity of his actions. He was drinking, smoking marijuana. I can't remember if he tested positive for anything else on the drug screen that DSS gave him, but I know those two things were definitely a problem. Marijuana is illegal in this state, and but he feels like, alcohol's legal. I should be able to drink when I want to drink and how much I want to drink, and with marijuana, even though it is illegal, he feels like it shouldn't be illegal and that it's medicinal, and the whole argument behind that. And so he really felt like that DSS was unjustified in removing his kids from the home. And as we got through the assessment, or as we're going through it, I realized that he grew up in a very violent household. There was a lot of abuse, a lot of drug use, a lot of drinking, a lot of yelling. And so this is the life that he has known his entire life. So, of course, when DSS comes in and takes his kids and tell him that he's what he's doing is wrong, and that he's a bad parent, is essentially what he felt like. And so his reaction was to automatically respond with aggression. He wasn't violent with the caseworkers, but he did yell, he threatened them, that type of thing. And so he was very angry when he first came into my office, when we first started the assessment. And I just tried to process with him his emotions, validate his emotions. I know it's horrible that your kids were removed. I know that's got to hurt a lot, that type of thing. But I never did validate his actions, of course. Just kind of processed that with him, and went through, well, how do you, and asked him, how do you think someone would react, or how do you think you would react if someone came at you the way you came at the caseworkers, and kind of processed with him how that negative reaction impacted his case, and the way that the DSS caseworkers responded to him after that. We just talked a lot about, how just because you're angry, that reacting aggressively or violently usually makes the situation worse. And I just kind of did this throughout the assessment as situations were brought up, and there again, just worked on validating his feelings. I understand why you're angry. Understand why you're upset and hurt. Your children are no longer in your home. That's got to be hard, that type of thing. So by the time the assessment was over, he thanked me and told me that I had made a big difference, and that he was angry when he came in, and while he still felt like that the way he was being treated by DSS was wrong, that he did feel better about how he was processing his feelings over it, and that he did not want to continue to respond aggressively, but that he would like to work on getting better at responding in a different way, in a more calm manner. And so, and the other thing that he told me was that he was thankful that I was nice to him. And he said, most people are not nice to me at all, ever. And I think that goes a long way in that conflict resolution. When you have a client who's belligerent, when they're angry, when they're lashing out at you, to just, in turn be kind to them, be nice about it. Of course, you don't ever want to put your safety in jeopardy, but just responding with being understanding. Maybe this is the only way they know how to react to something. Just like with this guy, he was brought up in violence. That's the only way he knew how to react. And I think that's part of meeting clients where they are. And I think that that's what makes a difference, because people won't remember necessarily what they got out of treatment. They won't remember every little thing, every little lesson. They will remember how they were treated. And ultimately, I believe that that's what brings people back, is when they're treated with respect and like human beings. When you're nice to them, a lot of times they're so beaten down, they're not used to being treated that way. And so when you are treating them in a respectful manner, they remember that, and that's what brings them back to treatment. Even, they may decide they're no longer going to do treatment, but a year or two later, or 6 months later, or whatever, they decide that they're ready to do treatment, and they come back to your agency because you were the one that was nice to them. Your agency was the one that was nice to them and made a difference, and that's what they remember. So my question for you guys is, have you had any similar experiences where people have thanked you for being nice to them and meeting them where they are? Hope you have a great week.